So yesterday I talked about how not giving a fuck affects women's mindset. So today we're going to be talking about how to actually not give a fuck. All right? And the reason why this is important is because when you the more there's something called the law of intention, which is the more you want something, the less you'll have it. The more you want to fall asleep, the less likely you're going to fall asleep. The more you want to give a perfect speech, the less likely you will have a perfect speech. The more you like somebody to like you, the less likely they'll like you. Right? Why? Because there's something called self-sabotage. And when people sense that you want something too much, it'll make them see you as lower value. When your body senses you need something a lot, it'll naturally say, wow, this is really important. I better not fuck it up. And so you'll get more nervous and you'll lose control over your body and emotions. So it's all about learning how to redirect that nervous energy or how to, over time, eliminate it through some of the things we're going to be talking about. So the first one is this is having a deep sense of purpose. When you don't have a calling in life, when you don't know what your purpose is in life, you're naturally going to be guided by other false purposes. Every animal has a certain direction that it's guided by its instincts. Why? Because they're in touch with their animal instincts. They're in touch with their biology. The human animal is completely different. When we developed our frontal cortex, we were almost able to detach ourselves from our bodies and go into places that don't exist, into our imagination. And we do it with such incredible efficiency that sometimes we don't even feel our bodies. Sometimes we don't even feel certain sensations because we're so in our heads. We literally forget that sometimes we have something in our pockets because we're so in our heads, right? We literally lose touch with the body. Almost all animals don't have that ability. That's why they're not as smart as we are, but they're more in touch with their bodies because they're not paying attention to their thoughts. They're paying attention to their environment because it's dangerous. We don't do that. We're not paying attention to our senses. We're usually in our own heads. And as a result, most animals have the ability to know exactly what to do, when to do it, because they're in touch with their bodies. Humans don't have that type of intense instinct. Now we do have it in terms of survival, in terms of wanting to have kids. But outside of that, we don't have it. We just don't. And so most people walk around without having a sense of direction, without having a sense of purpose. And so they begin to look for false purposes. They join political groups that they swallow their ideas whole without having without actually processing what they're saying and what they believe in. We follow false prophets, false gods, false career paths. We get into in addiction in order to remove the pain, to remove the sense of anguish, and we begin to idolize our partners. We begin to assume that finding the right guy or the right girl is what's gonna make us happy. And that's when all of a sudden you ascribe to somebody so much power because you have named them your purpose, or you name finding a partner your life's task. And so you go about it with a lot of intensity, and everything that you do and everything that you decide is based on that. And that's why you care a lot, because you have nothing else to do. You have no life, you have no purpose, you have no passions, you have nothing that you practice daily. You have no goals outside of finding somebody. There's nothing that self-soothes you whenever you feel down. You have no activities, no hobbies, none of that kind of stuff. I'm gonna put this right here, actually. Right? So what you want to do is find that sense of purpose. Discover your calling in life. When you find that sense of purpose, all of a sudden, that energy that was going towards something you can't control, because you can't control finding the right person, but you could definitely control wanting to be good at basketball. You could definitely control wanting to be good at drawing, at dancing, wanting to be good at art, wanting to be the best at your job, wanting to find a certain scientific discovery, or wanting to be the best parent. Make that your goal. When you make those your goal, the improvement that you have on a daily basis will create a momentum where it'll become almost like an emotional immune system. When things go wrong, you return to that hobby that you enjoy. It'll create a sense of a sense of a ecosystem of positive emotions will flow from that like a river, right? So that's why you want to find your purpose in life. And if you want to learn how to do that, I have plenty of videos, but I recommend you either read The Laws of Human Nature by Robert Greene, chapter 13 on discovering on having a sense of purpose, or chapter 1 in the book Mastery, which is called Discovering Your Life's Task. Right? When you find that, you will notice that everything will never be the same. I'm not even kidding with you. The next one is detaching yourself from the outcome of finding somebody. Naturally, when you first meet somebody, when you care about what they have to say, actually, when you care about what they have to say, everything that they say and do will have a lot of intensity, right? And the reason why is because you believe that this person liking you back is essential to your survival. You see, you got to understand the parts of our bodies that hurt the most usually are the parts of our bodies that have the most reproductive importance. For example, if somebody kicks you in the balls, rather, or somebody hits your arm, which one will hurt more? Getting hit in your balls. Why? Because your balls have more reproductive importance. So whatever part of your body has more sexual reproductive importance are the ones that are the most sensitive. Whatever events you have in your life that to you believe has a matters in terms of finding a person for your reproductive success evolutionarily will produce the most pain. So having alliances hurt a lot. I mean, not having alliances hurt a lot. Not having food hurts a lot. Even the phone. People believe that having a phone and being on social media allows them to connect with their friends, which means connecting with friends evolutionarily has meant surviving. So what you want to do is learn to have a different interpretation about these events, or lower your expectations. So what you could do when you first meet people is expect things not to work out. Expect it not to work out. Say to yourself, this is not going to work out. Say to yourself, this is the last time I'm going to see this person, right? And the reason why that is because if you keep telling yourself that, your natural instinct is to be hopeful. Your natural instinct is to believe that things will 100% work out, right? And when you do that, the reason why is because it's much better to think about that. You know, what people want is their imagination stimulated, right? People want to think about that kind of stuff because it's fun, but also that imagination usually comes with expectations. So what you want to do is lower it. And by having that is you can do that by having self-talk, telling yourself it's not going to work out. And I call this rationally negative. You're negative on purpose to lower expectations. Other things that you could do is literally create distance, right? If you're in a group of people or you're dating somebody and you care about what they think, literally having distance and coming back will change the way you see them. Having that distance and then coming back will change the way you see them, the way you perceive them, the way you perceive their opinions. And you might even see how ridiculous it was for you to even care about this. Distance gives you a better sense of proportion, and it gives you, it allows you to sense how important something really is to you, right? So just separate yourself from the situation for a while, and you'll notice the emotional distance and the emotional intensity will lower, right? Other things that you could do is having more options. The more options you have, the better the perspective you have about this individual. If they're the only options that you have, their value naturally is higher. If you have multiple options, their value naturally is more realistic. And when I say multiple options, I don't mean just having partners. I also mean having friends whom you could confide in, because a lot of the times we get with people because we need comfort. That means having activities like me with art and basketball that will allow me to fulfill the emotional hole that not having somebody gives me, right? So you want to have different options. When you do that, you naturally have more distance. Another thing that you could do is to see the finite of life itself. You see, when people care too much about what people think, it's because they're stuck in the moment. They're seeing it from the perspective of the now. They haven't taken a step back and looking at it from a bigger picture. When you see things from close up, you think every little detail matters, right? It's like when I paint. When I paint, people think that you have to get every detail right. The point is to get at least something right, because when you step back, you'll be surprised. It looks like the thing you were drawing. The closer you are to something, the more skewed perspective you have of the thing. You want to take a bigger step back. Like when you see things from an airplane's point of view, you see everything and you see how little of importance everyone is in reality. When you literally elevate your perspective. So some of the ways that you can elevate your perspective is literally imagining the death of somebody. Not doing it, calm the fuck down, put the knife down, not killing somebody, but imagining one day that they're not going to be here. Imagine that the earth one day is not going to be here. Seeing that everyone that you care about one day will be gone. And feeling it in your body, accepting that death is inevitable. And when you see the mortality in people, death is the ultimate equalizer. Death will make everyone seem equal in your eye. So when you see them as humans that are finite, that will die one day, just like you'll notice that you'll see them from a more realistic perspective. You won't see them as an enemy. You won't see them as somebody who you're battling against or somebody who you have to win. You see them as somebody whom you should have the same compassion you have for yourself at the inevitable nature of life. Just by seeing the death in somebody allows you to see through all of the illusions, all of the games, all of the masks that people put on. You'll see right through them, because that is the one thing we all have in common. There's nobody that is elevated above that. Another thing is to become present to the moment. And the reason why I include meditation is because when you learn to be more present in the moment, it allows all of the emotional pain that naturally would hurt to minimize by a pretty big percentage. Studies have shown that people who meditate, their amygdala literally decreases in size, and that's a part of your brain that regulates aggressive emotion. All of those uncontrollable emotions are regulated by your amygdala. The bigger it is, the less control you have of them. And also it increases your frontal cortex size, which is the part of your brain that allows you to regulate emotions, okay? So learning to meditate, learning to be present as much as possible will give you that benefit. So let me show you a video that shows you how to do it right now.
The problem that people have with meditating is that they think, like they say, oh, I can't meditate because I keep thinking, right? And that's normal, right? That happens to me as well. And something that I noticed is that the easiest way to meditate is to divert attention from your mind. Like when you're identified with your mind, which is to say, when you're noticing every thought you think and thinking that it comes from you, but rather than realizing that it's just a thought that your brain is spitting out. And you gotta realize that your brain is just creating thoughts. You know, it's always having different neurological some shit in your brain, right? And it's creating thoughts. It's just part of it. The problem is that when you don't realize that and you just take it as you see. So most of the time, your consciousness, which is to say, the consciousness that you could use for the present moment, is being used by your mind. For example, try this with me, all right? Try this with me, all right? Because you can't watch this video passively. Close your eyes and notice your hand. Just feel your hand, right? Ask yourself, how do I know that my hand is there? And just feel your hand. Keep feeling your hand. Now, as you notice that when you feel your hand, some attention is removed from your thoughts to your hand. Right? Now, the attention that was used for your thoughts to think is not in your hand. So now what does that mean? That means your brain is not going to be controlling you as much. Right? So then when you meditate, right? So when you talk, so when you're going about the world, you don't just always identify with your thoughts, which is to say you see somebody you don't like, fuck them, I hate them. But rather you see somebody you don't like, space, thoughts arise, fuck them, I hate them, returns to your hand. There's no reaction, but rather space, feeling the hand, thoughts, realization that comes from the brain, back to the hand. And now you don't act from your conditioned self, from your thoughts, but rather you act from the space that's around your thoughts. So the more you practice this kind of meditation of feeling the hand and then expanding to it to feeling the whole body, it allows you to be more grounded and be more present, right? So this is what you do. again, I don't practice this often, and even though it's my favorite way to meditate, I don't practice it often. So that's a caveat, right? I don't practice it as much, but I am going to be practicing more often. That's why I'm teaching this to you guys. I usually practice the feeling of the breath, or the am I trying to feel better at this moment, or the writing down the physical sensations. That's what I usually do. So what I'm going to start doing is in the morning and night, is feeling my hand. For example, you start. It's called a body scan meditation. You feel your feet, right? Just bring all of your physical. Try right now. Bring all of your physical sensation to your feet, and just feel the sensation of your feet right now. Right. Then bring your attention to your whole leg. Feel the sensation of your legs. Notice the warmth of your legs. Notice the width of your legs. Don't know it, just feel it. Notice the pulse and the blood pumping through your legs, right? And now feel your legs and your feet together in one whole energy, and just feel the energy. Notice if there's life in it. Notice the life in your legs and your feet. Now feel your midsection. Now you may not even feel nothing, but just become aware of your midsection. Notice your chest. Feel the sensation of your chest. Notice your heart pumping. Now feel the whole physical sensation of your midsection and your legs and your feet right now. Just bring all of your attention to it. You don't need to do anything, but just notice it. Now bring your sensation to your hands, both of your hands, and feel them. Notice if there's life in your hands. Now bring your sensation to your arms, forearms, back arms, biceps, shoulders. Just feel the sensation right now. Now feel the sensation from your arms, feet, legs, midsection. Just feel it all right now in one energy. Now feel your sensation in your neck. Feel the sensation. Feel your neck. Notice the width of your neck, the circumference. Notice the muscles in your neck. Notice your whole head. Feel the sensation of your head. Now feel your whole body right now. Feel your whole body. Feel the whole sensation of your body from head to toe. And now, as you notice, you're feeling your whole body right now, right? And that means that all of the attention that was taken up by your brain right now is taken up by your whole body. And that means that there's less reaction. You're less reactive because your full attention is in your body. And even if you notice the way I'm talking right now, and I feel it right now, there's a huge difference in the way I'm focusing. I'm more focused. I'm more alert. And I just feel more present when I do that, right? And then as you go about the world, you're talking to people, right? You're talking to them, right? But when there's space, you feel your hand, you feel your body, right? And then there are times you're gonna notice your attention going into your brain, to your mind, and then you return to your hands, or you return to any physical sensation. And the thing about meditating is that when you meditate through feeling the body, you want to feel your body more. And then the more you feel your body, the more you can experience the sensations of your body. And what tends to happen is that when that happens, is that you become more present. You become a lot more present. There's more space, and people feel the spaciousness inside. They feel the spaciousness because they feel comfortable around you. They don't feel judged. They feel like they can be themselves around you.
Anyway, so these are the ways that you guys can learn to not give a fuck about what people think about you. If you apply this, it's not that you won't care what people think of you because you're a human, but it'll greatly diminish to a point that it'll just be almost like a little thorn on your side that you just pluck out. and that's what's most important, to be honest with you. And if you guys ever want to work with me one-on-one, through either monthly coaching, one-on-one basis on the phone, or through you asking me an anonymous question and I'll make a video about it and nobody will find out it was you. We have all of those type of services. You could purchase it on the description down below where it says work with me one-on-one. Do it now or else I'm closing this channel.
So if you're a guy that's just like me, who considers himself a nice guy, and you in your whole life you've been getting played by women, this is the course for you. Remember, I was a Bible teacher for most of my life as a teenager. So I was the quintessential nice guy. So this course that I created is specifically made to bring out your assertive nature, because when you're a nice guy, your assertiveness is suppressed. So by watching this course, you're pretty much going to learn not to get played. Now, mind you, you're not going to turn into a white guy into a black guy. You know what I'm saying? That's not going to happen because you see a white guy and then you see a big old black guy named Tyrone. That's not going to happen. What's going to happen is that you're going to learn how to assert yourself in a respectful and healthy way. You're going to learn how to express yourself. You're going to learn how to demand respect from men and women. And what's going to happen at the end of this course is that men will respect you and women will bang you, for the most part. Okay, so you're gonna, and the beauty about this is that there's a 30-day money back guarantee. 30 days. So if you don't like it, just message me and I'll give you your 30, and I'll give you all of your money back, and you can keep the course. So what you can learn about the source of human aggression, strategies on self-assertion, how to identify different types of disrespects, right? How to deter aggression, signs of weakness that you might be sending out that's causing people to disrespect you, right? You're going to learn how to attack some people and who not to attack. It's pretty much going to make you more socially intelligent. It's a course for anybody who struggles with assertion, and specifically with people who've been jaded by being played by people, okay? So if you want to purchase this course, go to the description down below and where it says purchase nice guy and do it now. 30-day money back guarantee, no questions asked, and you can keep the course. God damn it, okay? Because I am that nice of a guy, ironically, okay? So I'll see you guys inside, and I hope you guys enjoyed this course. I put a lot of my heart in it, and I'll see you guys inside. Purchase it now. Take care. Stay toxic.